here's the thing that I get asked all the time. How did you stay motivated all the time? People ask me that all the time. And the answer is, I didn't, and neither did you to become successful. The separator in life is really important. People think the most inspired, motivated person wins. Nah, not really. It's the person who can work on the days they're not inspired and motivated. It's what do you do when you're not feeling great? What do you do when it's not your best day? How do you do that? Carries you through as rituals and habits. There's this thing people think that like, I'll be happy when. Once I get like this big, amazing home, or once I get this car, or once I get this relationship or an amount of money, then I'll allow myself some happiness. The problem is the finish line always moves. You never arrive there, right? The other part is people think, well, if I enjoy myself now, I'm gonna lose my drive. In other words, if I can just wire myself with enough pain all the time, I won't lose my drive or ambition. The truth is there's no correlation between the two at all. There's no relationship between you feeling complete pain all the time and losing drive. And so I talk about living in a state of blissful dissatisfaction. And really the best example of that would be like if you've ever, I love a good meal, right? You know, if I bite into a great piece of steak, if you're a steak eater like I am, you take that first bite, it's like complete bliss, right? There's no correlation between how great that tasted and your lack of desire for the next bite. In fact, that bliss causes you to want more of it. And so the more we can begin to reward ourselves with bliss, we're not going to lose our dissatisfaction. We're not going to lose that. And so for me, our brains, this dopamine hit you get when you do something successful, if you constantly cheat yourself out of that hit, right, biomechanically in your body, less and less in the future will you want to achieve the next level, the next dream, the next step. And that's why so many people stall out in life. They got to a certain point and they cheated themselves out of the bliss, out of the celebration. It's important that we celebrate our wins. We celebrate our lives because it causes us to want the next bite. It keeps us hungrier, not the reverse. And so for me, I want to live in a state of being grateful and blissful now, not waiting for some future place or date that may never arise. So that's what it means for me. Yeah. I had a really good friend of mine, I went to lunch and he said, I don't know who this guy is here in front of me. And he goes, let me ask you a question, honestly. Right now, what are you grateful for? And at the lunch I said, jack shit, nothing, brother. There's nothing good in my life right now. And I'm not exaggerating this to you when I tell you this, and this is a factual story. As I'm mouthing these words, two people walked in with an older man. Both of them clearly were fighting cancer somehow. Both had lost their hair. One of the ladies had a bonnet on, and they were barely moving in. Both walked by our table and gave me the most warm greeting, the warmest smile as a stranger. And he goes, that's pretty freaking pathetic. You can't find anything in your life to be grateful for right now? And on the drive home, I'm not kidding you, I started to stack gratitude. I started to take inventory. Because if you can find things to be grateful for in that space, man, is your life going to be rich when there really are external things to be grateful for. So my first mechanism out of that space was honestly to stack the things I was grateful for, and I started reinforcing it over and over and over again. And what happens is there's this reticular activating system in our brains, right? And all of a sudden, because that's the messaging I was giving myself, all of a sudden, all these things start to come into my awareness that I'm grateful for. I start to magnetize to myself some people that I needed to find into my life, and that was the next layer. I started to see things to be grateful for. My health, my fitness, people who loved me. And what it is, it changed my state. When I stacked gratitude, I changed what I did in the morning, and I changed what I did in the evening. And so somehow by grabbing control of my morning and by grabbing control of my evening, I got some measure of control over the middle of my day. I was an out of control person back in those days, meaning this. I woke up worried, stressed, fearful, and I immediately start thinking about a bill I had to pay, something that was wrong, and I'm in a state of reaction to begin I'm talking within 6 minutes of waking up, 6 seconds. Most people listening to this, that's what they do. I said, I got to grab control of my morning, and I set up routines in my morning. Maybe they served me, maybe they didn't, but they were things I could deliver on doing for myself. And so not only did that give me control over the day, but I started to stack my self-confidence too.
So walk me through your baseball career ends. I know that your dad and you said he's your best friend.
He's my best friend.
Growing up, alcoholic father,
right.
You said I think you were 14 or 15.
That's right.
And then they're introducing you constantly as the shy kid who plays baseball. Baseball falls away, and now it's like how do you get out from under, well, I'm the son of somebody that struggled with drugs and alcohol, I'm the kid who was supposed to be great at baseball and now that's gone. Like, how do you get out from under the weight of that?
Yeah, it is weight too. When I was small, I was also really undersized. So it's probably one of the reasons I lift weights. I was always every baseball picture, I'm the kid holding a sign in the front, right? So I was small and skinny. They used to tease me Eddie Spaghetti, and I'd get bullied at school, and I never retaliated. So I had that mixed with shyness, mixed with chaos in my home, which many people can relate to. And I got to tell you that the shift for me, sports was good for me because it gave me an out that I finally found something that I was pretty good at. I think the biggest shift in our lives, the things that makes us the happiest, is that when somebody helps us identify our natural giftedness. And when I was a little boy, when I got a little bit older, they pointed out my speed. So it wasn't my lack of size, I was fast. I was the fast kid, right? I always wanted to be fast kid, and I got confidence in baseball doing that. When I got into business, they said, you're intense. When someone points out a gift about you that you also kind of intuitively know to be true, they're linked to them. You're intense, you're passionate, you won't get outworked, you're relentless. I went, I am those things. And when someone linked those gifts to me winning, now I believed I could win. That's the other way to change identity, is when someone can link your giftedness to the victory, you'll believe it. Not like you're great, that's general, that's bullshit. Right. But it's something you know specific. Like for you right now, you wouldn't brag about them. There's a few things you know what, I am good at these things, right? I've always been good at these things, it's natural for me. And when someone links that to you winning, like for you, for example, you're an unbelievable interviewer. You have this general, you don't need to be the smartest person in the room because you probably are most of the time. And so there's a confidence that allows you to be present when you interview me and just listen that's different than anyone who's interviewed me before. And so that's a natural giftedness for you, which is why there's a part of you that kind of knows, you wouldn't say it, but I am pretty good at this. This is a good program. And so the way we change our identity, the way I changed mine, was by getting in touch with what some of my natural gifts were and then using them in my career, using them in my life. That shifted the weight right off of me. Because the weight was, I suck, I'm shy, I'm small, I have a screwed up family. That's the weight, right? The lifting off of the weight is, these are some gifts God gave me, or the universe gave me, or that at least I know I have. And I can spend my life using these gifts. Now I've got hope. Now my identity's changing. Now my life takes a different direction. Malcolm X is a guy that I've read a lot about, and Malcolm X, my favorite quote of Malcolm X is, that which you do not hate, you will eventually tolerate. And so there has to be this point in your life where what you want is so much greater than where you are. You're in such discomfort. In other words, the gap between what you're dreaming of, what you're destined to do, what you're capable of, you're aware of it compared to where you are. That tension between the two has a pull power to it, right? And so it's important all the time that wherever you are in life, that you're chasing that next version of you. There's this thing I'm just unbelievably passionate about. That is that I have this theory that I've told you this before, but that I think that at the end of your life, there's this place you come to, and I'm a Christian, so I think at the end of my life, I want the Lord to go, hey, well done, good and faithful servant. It doesn't matter what your faith is. You probably are aware there's history being made or an accounting, but I also think he's gonna go, hey, by the way, this is who you could have been. I think he introduces you to the person you are capable of becoming. I really believe that at the end of your life, you're gonna get introduced to the person you could have been, you were destined to be, that he made you to be. And so I'm chasing that dude. Every day I'm chasing that dude. That's the pull power for me. Every decision I make, the things I go through in my life, whether I'm gonna go to the gym, whether I'm gonna make a phone call, how I'm gonna eat, does it get me closer to that guy? Because I think the best end of a life is well done by the Lord, and you're identical twins with that person. The bad end of a life would be, I meet this man I could have been, and we're total strangers. I mean, we're just complete opposites. I know nothing about this guy. There's no familiarity at all. And it means that I went down these easy roads. I took the comfortable road. The comfortable road will never lead you to the person you were destined to be, ever in your life. And so I don't know, if you don't become obsessed with chasing that person, you end up never meeting him. But the model for me is that I've learned from the mistakes that I've made, and it sounds as hokey as you can be. I'm trying to get better. Every single day, every decision I make, I just want to get better, because you know what? I don't compete with other people. I don't compare myself to other people. This is my life, right? And so the model for me is this, and I just want to say this to everybody. There's probably a point in your life where you were given a script of who you were supposed to be, whether it's your parents or your friends or your spouse. And we live too often in our lives some other person's script, right? Someone else's script. Remember this, you're the lead character in the story of your life, and the person who controls that script is you and your God. And at any point, you can decide to step into a new chapter. You can step in to be a whole new leading character. And too often, at the end of a movie, you know at the end of a movie there's the credits? There's like leading character, leading woman. But if you watch long enough, eventually you get down there, it's like cab driver number 2, trucker number 3. They don't even have names at the end of the movie, right? Most people live their life worrying about what cab driver number 2, bouncer number 3, instead of your life is about those leading characters, those 5 or 6 or 8 people around you that you love. So my model is I live my own script. My model is I control that script, me and God. I can write a new chapter. I could, right now, you get off this podcast, you could decide to step out into a whole new character. Maybe not dramatic, maybe you're just a little bit more confident woman, a little stronger, a little bit more dedicated to your focus, a little bit more focused on keeping the promises you make yourself. You just start stepping into that new place. And for me, I write new chapters every year. I'm not interested in reading the past chapters. My past chapters are either are stories I've made up in my mind about how great I was, or big failure stories we repeat to ourselves. I'm about the new chapter right now, not even the future. Right now, writing that new chapter. That's my model, is I control the script, and I know I control the script with God's blessing.
I started out in door-to-door sales by mistake, but I did, and it changed my life. I admire what you're doing. I want you to understand that. I know what you're doing. I did it for years. You can track back a $500 million net worth for me now to knocking on doors when I was a 21-year-old kid. So those of you guys in this room with a dream to do something great with your life, and you're kind of average and ordinary, maybe you're not the smartest dude in the world or the biggest dude in the world, but you want to do something great with your life, maybe I can be an example of that. Because I know what it's like not to feel great about what you're doing, to doubt whether you're doing this. And I just got to tell you something. I'm an example this stuff pays off. How many of you have a big dream you want to make come true in your life? Something special you want to do? Okay, me too. And I got bigger ones. Let me tell you what everybody's dream is. Put it in your note. I don't care if you sell pest control, security, solar, insurance. I don't care what it is. Guess what they want? You ready? And guess what you want? You want to be happier. You got to link everything to people's happiness. You think that's ridiculous. So I'm going to kill some termites, they're going to be happier. Yep. They think if you did pest control, at the end of the day, the greatest influencers get the people want to be happier. All of you want to be happier. You think if I become a millionaire, I'll be happier. If I get that baller jet, I'll be happier. If I'm making 100 grand, I'll be happier. If I lose 30 pounds, I'll be happier. If I protect my family with security, my family will be happier. People want to be happier. I love that most people don't take anything seriously. I love that most people aren't coachable. I love that most people don't do what I teach or that anybody teaches. I love that. That's how certain people win. Half y'all haven't written a damn word down I've said. If you were in my team, I'd slap the hell out of you. I don't say that disrespectfully. I say this as a dipshit who had a Velcroed car. I don't say that talking down to you. I say, wake up! You want to win? You want to be a millionaire? You got to quit being so casual. You walk slow, you talk slow, you implement things slow, you talk a good game like you're going to be somebody, like you're going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can't even write a note down. You're going to get your ass kicked in business, dude. Business is a sport. It's competitive. You got to get focused and get in a hurry. You around a dude like me, we will smash your organization. We come to play. We're for real. What are you? Cool? I've seen all kinds of cool guys my whole career. Cool guys go broke. Cool guys have little flashes in the pan. They have a good 2 or 3 years. Players who implement strategies that get focused and intense, they win decades. They win multiple championships. You win for 2 or 3 years. You know how many guys I've known that have made money for 2, 3, 4 years that are ass broke now? You got to win year after year after year to be a player in business. I'm almost 50 years old, man. I was 21 driving that car. It's a Saturday. I spoke yesterday. I land tonight and go speak for Goldie Hawn tonight. Monday I get up, I've got a loaded calendar. I'm after it. I'm not casual, I want to win. You're too damn casual. You hear me? Wake up, brother. I want you to kind of feel like, man, I want to be a multimillionaire. How do these people think? What do they do? What's their attitude like? I have enough humility to talk frankly with you. I'm a Christian, man. I'm your brother. Let me explain what that means to you. I'm no better than you. Same God that made you made me. I don't love my kids more than you love your kids. If you make a couple of these adjustments, man, you could change your life. You could change your family forever. It's not casual. Your family tree, let's show you know something. You meet somebody wealthy, their family at one point was not wealthy. And then the one shows up. The one. One person changes the family tree forever. In my family, I'm the one. And it wasn't because I wanted it or I hoped for it. Right? Hey, I fought for it. I fight for the inches. Give me the info. Tell me what to tweak. I like that evangelist thing. Man, that stuff about influence is awesome. I thought he was smarter than me. Turns out he's dumber than me. I want to win. I want to fight for my family. I want my mom and dad proud of me. I want my kids proud of me. I want me proud of me. I want to look in the mirror and be happy with the man I look back at. That he gave it everything. That he went for it. Everything he's got. That's what I want for you. I want you to be happy with you, not cool, where you fake it and front it for everybody here. I mean, when you're alone and you're brushing your teeth, you're driving in the car, you look up and go, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you, brother. I'm proud of you, sister. And you feel it. That's what I want for you. And every once in a while, you need someone to come along and go, come on, let's go. I don't care what level you're at. I'm talking to me as much as I'm talking to you. All kinds of things I ain't doing like I need to be doing. You can change the chapters in the book of your life if you want to. There's a book being written about you. Even if you don't have faith, would you agree someone's probably paying attention to that you're here? Yes or no? Yes? You can decide, you and God, or you, whatever you believe, you're the author. You can turn the page just like Max did on that golf course. I'm no longer that guy. I'm going to walk different, talk different, think different. It might be a year, 2, 3 before you make your putt. It might be a year, 2, 3, 4 before you get your big win. But you could decide now, I'm going to walk, talk, and be a different person. You decide that. You're the lead character in the story of your life. But too many of you let what I call the extras of life dictate where you're going. You know the extras, you watch a movie, at the end they got the lead characters, then at the end it's like cab driver number 2, bouncer number 3. You don't even know their damn names. But in your life, you let those people dictate what you do. You're afraid to knock the door. You're afraid to go for it because cab driver number 2 in your life might reject you. How about you start playing the game for the main characters? Your mom, your dad, your children, you. That's who you play the game for. Y'all hear me? At some point, you got to stop negotiating the price and decide your will to win is not for sale. Here's the truth. Most people's dreams can be bought. With enough failure, with enough rejection, they will sell their children's dreams. They can't still fight. They can get a little bit, but when it gets a little too hot, they go, boom, sold, buy the dream, you can have it. It's not worth it to me. And their will to win is buyable. You can buy it with a little success or a whole bunch of failure. Most people will sell their will to win. Some of you have sold it because you're making a little bit of money. You don't work like you did when you were making nothing. You're not after it like when you were broke. Now you got your 50, 100, 200, 300, 400 measly dollars a year, $1 million a year. Not to be rude, but that would not pay my jet fuel. And you think you're making a lot of money compared to what? But you sold your win for a little couple success. Some of you will sell your win for some failure. You're probably buyable. But if you decide at this meeting, my will cannot be bought. I don't care how long it takes, you can't buy this dude out. I'll keep fighting for my family. I'm the one. I'm going to change my family tree forever. That's the decision. Decide now. You're going to keep negotiating the price, or can you not be bought? You can change your life. You're in a great industry with great people. This is a great time to be in this economy. And if this Velcro together Mercedes driving dude can do it, so can you. So can you. The question is whether or not you'll have the courage to step up and fight for your family and do something great. See, you were made to do something great with your life, weren't you? And you've always known it. There's always been this little voice in your head since you were a little boy or a little girl. You've always known there was something special about you. Those of us that have faith in the room, we know we were made as a masterpiece. We know the Lord looks at us like we can do anything with our lives through Him, don't we? Is that right? You weren't born to be average. You weren't born to have a mediocre existence on this earth. You were born to do something great, and that's why you're in this room. It's by no mistake that you've always had those thoughts, that intuition, that aspiration, and you find yourself in this room at this time today. every single day has to be a pursuit to get better, to improve, to grow, to stretch, because you are ultimately chasing the destiny version of you. Do you hear me on that? Say yes. So every decision you make in business, every call you have, whether you go to the gym or not, you need to put it through this paradigm, through this barometer. Does this decision, does this relationship I'm in, does this choice I'm making right now put me closer to becoming that man or woman or further away? Listen, you got to get a little bit more intense about your life, about your business. You got to stop being so dadgum casual. You got to get in the game. If you're going to play the game, let's play to win it. I don't like when we get up here, I'm rich, you know what, who cares if I'm rich? I care whether you're rich. I want you to live richly. And I can tell you, I don't like it sometimes when we come to events like this because you always see the after. If this was a weight loss ad, we're all ripped up here. The power of the weight loss ad is you see the fat lady, then she's the skinny lady, right? You don't see the before, you're only seeing afters here. The before with me is an introverted, shy guy, insecure guy, low self-esteem, afraid of public speaking. That's the before me, a broke me. And I'm not going to get into the details of that, but I want that to give you hope, because it's decisions we make to chase that best version of us every second, every day, that every day alters the direction of the course of our lives. We've all made decisions that we regret. That decision took me off course. That decision put me further away of being the best life I could have, the best version of me.
And I want to remind you of something as I begin today, that you were born to do something great with your life, that you're extraordinary. Listen to me, that you're enough, that you're special, that you're favored, that you're chosen, regardless of where you come from, regardless of what you've been carrying with you. Some of you come in here today, and you know what? You've even thought of harming yourselves. Maybe you're even proud of the fact you haven't killed yourself. But every day, some of us are killing ourselves with the shame we carry from something we've done, some humiliation, some fear. We put this gun to our head every day that tells us we're not enough. We're not strong enough, pretty enough, smart enough, favored enough, that we're doomed. And we carry these guns in our head every day that shame us, that take our confidence from us, that steal our joy. It's like a knife. You don't have to kill yourself because you do it every day. You do it over and over and over again, and there's a better way forward. You can put those things down in your life. You could decide today that you were born to do something great. You could set aside this weapon that you keep using against yourself to hold you back from your joy, from your passion, from your achievement, from all the goodies in life. You could decide today, just intentionally, to set this weapon down, whatever it is. Something from your childhood, a divorce, a business failure, something you're just not proud of that you've done. Set it down. Stop using it as a weapon against yourself and realize that happened for you and not to you. I believe in this concept of living blissfully dissatisfied, which means there's a way, most achievers have it backwards. They think, hey, if I enjoy my success, I'm going to lose all my drive, right? And then other people that aren't successful yet, haven't reached what they want, or they delay their bliss until a destination in the future. Once I get this relationship, once I make that money, once I get that car, once I have that home, then I'll let myself feel bliss. And so I teach you that the concept is you can live blissfully and still be dissatisfied. Your pathway to changing how you feel about yourself, of getting to the next level, is always giving, always giving, always giving. You know, I have this thing I kind of run my life through that kind of is my governor on my life of when I'm trying to give and when I'm trying to make a difference for people. And I just have this hallucination. I am a Christian, and so I believe that someday when I die, there's an accounting. I don't care if you. I'm actually one of these very interesting people that I believe in the quantum field and energy because I know it exists, and I believe my Lord and Savior created it. You have whatever your belief is wonderful. I don't preach. I just want you to know. I know there's an energy field. I know there's a God, and Lewis asked me on the show, what are 3 truths? And I said, the first thing is there's a God. I just want you to know that. So you believe your beliefs. I respect them. I admire them. I have people from every belief center in the world on my program. But I just want to say to you, this is my prism I live my life through. It governs my decision making. And I make mistakes all the time. One of the cool things about being a Christian is I'm saved by the grace of God because I know I'm going to sin. That's one of the cool things about my particular faith. But the point that I want to make, because I sin all the time, I make mistakes all the time. I've already used profanity, I think 4 times in this talk, so I know for sure I've messed some mistakes. But let me tell you how I govern my life. I believe at the end of my life there's an accounting. and I'm going to sit in front of my Lord, and I want him to say, well done, good and faithful servant. But having said that, no matter what your beliefs are, I think that I actually get to meet somebody interesting. Maybe you don't believe in anything faith-based, but I bet you believe there's a recording going on in your life. Someone's paying attention. Someone's going to tell the story of your life. Maybe your great-granddaughter will carry the legacy of your life and what you've done, but someone's paying attention to what you're doing here. You've always had that sense. You've always known your life mattered. You've always known since you were a little girl that there's something special you're supposed to be doing. And that anxiety, that fear you have is maybe you're not doing it. For me personally, I'm constantly in a crisis to get to the next version of me. It's not like I'd like to. I wish I only would like to. I probably have a little bit more peace in my life. I am in a crisis to get the next version of me. And so the guy sitting in front of you right now, if I come back in a year and I'm just the same exact person with the same thoughts, same ideas, same ways of delivering them, this was a wasted year of my life, right? So I want to know how to get to that next version of me. And so for those of you that struggle with taking criticism, you got to ask yourself, how important is it to you to grow? Because you were put on earth to grow, to contribute, to serve, to help. You were in your way. And the current version of you is perfect as it stands right now, but it will be inferior next year. You're perfect as you are now, especially you ladies listening to this. There's all this messaging. You're not this, you're not smart enough. Women are too dominant, then they're a diva, right? Or you're not beautiful enough. Ladies, men, you too. You are perfect as you exist right now, but that version of you isn't sufficient next year. You got to be crazy, hungry, crisis to get to that next version of you. I want the data. I want the input. I want the information. I want the feedback to get to the next version of me, regardless of how it emotionally makes me feel. I'm like driven by that. Without that information, why am I living? Here's how we know you're perfect now. You've produced the external life you have, so you are perfect for that life right now. You are all you need to be right now. But if you want a different life, an improved life, a growing life, right, an increased life, this version of you is inferior to get to that place. And so the reason we have rapport, the reason we like each other is like, I also want to be surrounded by people who are not messaging me, is enough? Right. Everything's good, man. Take a break. And I may not want more money. You and I both have a lot of money, right? We'd probably like more, but it's not my driver. I want more peace, more gratitude, more abundance, more contribution, more memories, more experiences, more joy, more love. That will never be enough for me. Put me in the ground if I don't get any more of that stuff.